vacation? Not long enough? Before we get started, I always like to go over a little bit of what we discussed last week so that we can make sure that we remember those things as well. So the first week we discussed grooming, and what are some of the things that we talked about that were important in grooming?
Brushing of the hair and the teeth.
Okay. What else was important when we talked about grooming?
Washing the body. Washing the body.
The shower. And we said we don't want to use a whole lot of what when we take the shower? Strong soap. We don't want to use a lot of cologne and things of that nature. Okay. Now, last week we talked about attire. I got to go back to my man. What was important that we talked about attire?
Well, with the watch.
Yeah. Every time I was put my watch on, I was thinking about you. It'll be about business, right?
Classy with that ass.
All right. We want to wear a watch. Why is it important to wear a watch a wristwatch to a job interview?
That you know that you're about time.
Exactly. What else is important when we talked about attire last week?
Set up, like tie and everything, set up.
That's why it's important to take notes. In the past, we used to give handouts at the end of each class. I stopped doing that because I noticed that people weren't taking notes. And this is for your benefit. So if you just sit here the entire class, and at the end of the class, I give you a sheet of paper that tells you exactly what we talked about, there's no real incentive for you to absorb this information. So that's why I want to make sure that you take the notes, because this information is here to help you. When we first started, you told me that probably 85% of the people in this classroom were unemployed. So if 85% of you are unemployed and you're looking for work, this is information that you need to pay attention to. All right? All right, so it's another thing we talked about with the tie. Remember we said things that were proper and then improper. So
Dark color suit.
dark color
Women can't wear pants.
in the winter, exactly.
Bamboo earrings.
No
these
bamboo.
two pair.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. No dangling earrings. But I'm just saying, that's exactly what we did talk about. You know, you don't want to wear earrings like
Big hoops.
no. What's my name? What's my name for you? Rihanna. You don't want to wear earrings like my young lady Rihanna right there. Okay. So
Bamboo earrings.
so now this week we're going to move into another direction. This week we're going to talk about proper etiquette. Does anyone know what proper etiquette means?
Let me see. Let me dig too.
Good manners.
Good manners.
Let me see.
Etiquette is another example, another word for manners. You can either have good manners or you can have bad manners. So it's very important to incorporate good manners when you're going into a job interview. So one thing that we all can do, showing good manners to a job interview is arrive early for your interview. Okay? If you were having Thanksgiving dinner at your home and you invited family over and dinner was supposed to start at 5 o'clock and some people showed up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I mean, it's rude because now you have to stop everything you're doing, find a seat for them at the table. When, if you ask everyone to arrive at a certain time, it's not like I said, well, just come whenever you feel like it. But if we said we asked that everyone arrive at this time and you arrive late, it's just being rude to everyone else that arrived on time. So, proper etiquette, arrive early for the interview. What would be your definition of arriving early to the interview?
Get there 30 minutes early.
Say it again. I'm sorry, I hear talking about it, know who I would be able to speak back to. Who was it?
I said around 30 minutes early, but everybody else said later time, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
You leave home about 30 minutes early, just because of the traffic.
Exactly. You have to think about. You have to think about traffic. You have to think about, as I call them, if you're on these back roads, you get caught behind a turtle or a school bus, or if you have a flat tire, if you don't realize that you need some gas and you have to stop and go get gas before you go there. There's a lot of different things. But when you arrive early, it gives you an opportunity to go to the bathroom. You might be a little nervous. Look over your resume a little bit just to kind of refresh yourself. One thing that I like to do if I'm going in, if I was going into a job interview, a lot of companies, they'll have information about their business like in the waiting room or in the lobby. So something that's helpful for you is, let's say you're going to a business for a job interview, and it's a let's just say Nike company. And while you're sitting there waiting for your job interview, the interview starts at 10 o'clock and you get there at 9:30. On some of the tables, they may have information about Nike, when Nike was founded, how many employees they had, what they specialize in, just things of that nature. So that extra time gives you an opportunity to read a little more about the company, do a little more research, go into the bathroom, like I said, check your attire, make sure your tie is straight, or you don't have anything on the back of your dress or your skirt. Sometimes, I remember I used to do this when I was teaching over at the Henderson campus, where, you know how big the Henderson campus is, right?
Yes, I know.
And sometimes I would try to shortcut across the campus. Well, I'm wearing a suit and tie and dress shoes, but in the morning, typically the grass has dew on it.
Right.
So if you're walking through the grass with the dew and you're wearing shoes, what happens? The grass clippings gets on your shoes. So there were actually times when I would go in to teach and look down and I had grass clippings on my shoes. And here I am talking about dress appropriately, look professional, and I'm being a hypocrite. But you don't think about those things because all you are, you look good before you left the house, but just that one little moment of walking through the grass can mess everything up. Or you forget to pull your zipper up. You might go to the bathroom and forget to do that. Some people, it's just an accident.
Yeah.
That little half hour, 20, 25 minutes gives you the opportunity to just relax and calm down. Because last thing you want to do is, your interview's at 10 o'clock, you get there at 9:55, You had to park always somewhere else. You run in there, and your nerves are racked during the interview that you've probably been waiting 5 to 6 months to get. So now it's the opportunity for you to put your best foot forward and just be calm, relax, look over your resume, look over the job description, so when they ask you about the job, I mean, everything, just relax. That's why a half hour, 20, 25 minutes is a good time to get there. Now, even if you get there half hour, doesn't mean you have to go inside. You might sit in your car for 10, 15 minutes. Listen to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's always better to be early than late. So, proper etiquette, arriving early, dress appropriately. Take off your hat indoors. If you walk into a building, fellas, first thing you want to do is take your hat off. Be positive and confident, but not arrogant in the interview. Dealing with body language. Imagine if we had a job interview and you're interviewing me, and I came in, I sat in the interview like this. And what's that telling you?
You don't want to be done.
I don't want to be here. I don't want this job. I may want the job. I may want to be here. But just on your body language, as I tell you. So you have to be careful about those different types of things. Or, sitting with your leg all crossed off. Just kind of cocky, arrogant looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, those are different little things you want to do. And be careful of.